back. Yep. Okay. Well, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you can get through the afternoon all right. And happy to talk about this. Yeah. So obviously we operate in very remote areas. We've got depots in Gove and Groote Island in the Northern Territory. Up in Queensland, obviously Cairns, Weipa, Seychelles, Horn Island, Thursday Island. All of our employees are encouraged to take an active part in protecting the environment. Yep. We've got over 400 staff that work for Sea-Swift between Queensland and the NT. We also operate 27 vessels and we make a significant contribution to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities which we operate in. We believe we're more than a freight company. We're more than barge operators. We get out in the community and make a difference where we can. Just a quick snapshot. There's really Northern Australia is where we operate, from Darwin all the way around to Numbulwar, and then from Cairns up through the Torres Strait and then around to Weipa and then down to Arakoon and a little bit down into Mornington Island, Palm Island. 53 communities we service weekly. So one good thing about being on the water, the roads, if we get a wet season and that, we can still deliver. The biggest thing for us is to get fresh food in the communities, and that's changed a lot of lives in the communities. They can get fresh milk, they can get fresh meat, things like that. We move about 500 containers a week. We got 2,000 bits of kit that move that freight around, whether it's containers, flat racks, refrigerated containers. 9 depots, all local people. So in our Gove, we've got 10 operations team there, and in Groote Island, we've got a small team of 5 there. So we operate in the NT. We've got 14 communities that we do weekly. We run 6 vessels, 6 landing craft, so we can dry out at communities if we need to. That does come at a bit of a cost. We are heavily regulated. We do have to follow rules, and we do have to maintain our vessels so that we can keep schedule. Our main depot is Darwin. We'll usually transship to Gove with our line haul vessel, which goes down into the Gulf then and does Numbulwar, Umbercumber and Bickerton. We also do Lake Avella and the rest of the communities there. Done a lot of work with East Arm Regional Council and Westerly. I wasn't here earlier, but he was telling me that we got a bit of a plug, so that's good. And this has come a long way from just really a bit of a dream of shipping things around and getting a bit of recycling, a bit of materials out of the community to where we're actually getting purpose-built things to move stuff. So if you think about moving batteries, we've got a purpose-built box there, and these are the types of things that we share with our people around the place. You can see on our barge there, on the right-hand side, bulker bags full of tins that have come out of community from being cleaned up. And then also the black box there full of batteries that have been brought back. So like I said, we started really the partnership back in 2017 with East Arnhem Regional Council, and it really started off pretty small. We were just talking about a few batteries and a few tins, and we've sort of grown into this massive recycling sort of program out of the main 9 communities and East Regional Council there. If you can see there, 400,000 beverage containers, that's massive. That 40,000 went back into the community that they could do something with it. Hearing what I heard a bit later on, I don't know if that's a good idea with tins and that, but they got to do something with it rather than going into landfill. And really the bottom bit there is good for us that, we're at least getting recognised for what we're doing. We at Sea-Swift aren't really a company that are out there and, sort of want to be patted on the back too much. We're a bit of a under the radar sort of company. Just some of the stuff with East Arnhem there, where we're working with them. You know, it's good to go out in community, have a look at these places and actually see the utensils and the purpose-built items that have gone out there. The initial ones were just a cage with a couple of holes in it, and there was a bit of an ad flying around, you know, put the can in the hole and all that sort of stuff. So they've really progressed from there to mobilising containers and purpose-built bits of gear to go out. This is a picture of flat racks of cars that have been crushed in community. Pretty big job. If you look at those flat racks, there's about 25 tonne of steel there. So to get that on the barge takes a fair bit of equipment to get it there, otherwise we wouldn't be able to ship it out. Just a little happy award there we got with a East Arnhem. I feel like I'm working for East Arnhem today. I think so, yeah. Look, obviously some of the challenges that we do have, like in our depot in Darwin, and it's not only East Arnhem, it's other entities that we do recycling with. It ends up getting back to our depot, and then, you know, suppliers might be picking up that recycled material and they don't want to come in and pick half a load up, they want to pick a full load up. So it sort of gets left with us to work it out and deal with it. We've got to store it, and then that becomes, you know, we've got to move things around, and that's at our cost. No one pays us to do this. The government's not giving us anything for moving this stuff out, and it's more of a feel-good thing. Cardboard's a really interesting one. I don't know if anyone spoke about that over the last couple of days, but the wet season's terrible for cardboard because it puts that moisture content too high, and then they can't transport it out. So then it becomes two issues. It's either a landfill issue in community, which no one wants to be putting material in landfill in community, or high cost to bring it back and then put it in the landfill in Darwin. So that becomes a bit of an issue. Tin bags, you know, if the bags are perished, and, you know, we've got people walking around picking tins up and all that sort of stuff. Limited times on the barge ramp. So our whole business is really around tides. So, like, in our business, you can't wait for the tide. The tide's a tide and what you've got to work with. So if we haven't got our stuff organised, or if the person who's bringing stuff down hasn't got it ready, that puts pressure on our crews to get it loaded. Larger machines, so for instance, those flat racks with those car bales on there, we've got to put a 32 tonne machine on there. So I don't know if anyone's Googled to buy a 32 tonne forklift lately, but to buy new ones, you know, between 600,000 and 700,000. We got one of our vessels, yeah, has a brand new forklift on there. Yep. We're saying it's going to have less than a 4-year life on, 4 to 5 year life. Trucks, containers, flat racks, you know, they're expensive. If you look at a container today, with the shortage worldwide, COVID's caused a lot of issues where you could buy a container out of China for, say, $7,000 and have it shipped for less than $1,000. It's, say, $11,000 now and about $5,000 to get it shipped, if you can get one, because everyone's backed up. Probably the bottom one is really heavy for us, you know. Recycled freight is heavily subsidised, so, you know, we work out prices with different customers and different entities, and, you know, we want to do the right thing. We want to be seen to be doing the right thing, but at the end of the day, what we're doing it for, it's unsustainable. I can't put my hand on my heart and say, you know, all this recycle that comes out is great. We get a good feeling with that. We can win an award, but when you look at pure business, we don't make money. And, you know, for us, we only get paid for what we make on freight. So the 400 people that we got, each connote goes towards them. We've got to be able to reinvest in our company and maintain things. Probably the last one there that I'll talk about is we've all got regulatory requirements. We do have EPA licences. In July 20, the EPA predicted the increase in projected movements of volumes of listed waste from NT communities. So there were some targets put on communities to remove waste. That puts pressure back on us then, because then we've got to make sure that we can cover to carry those wastes. Asbestos is a really, really key one. You know, we had to make sure that we had the right licences, we've got the right tonnage. If someone's bringing back asbestos, then we've got to make sure that when it comes off the barge, someone's there to pick it up and take it away. We can't be storing it. And the bottom one there is just, you know, if you look up the EPA website on waste, you can see that we have 2 licences there. So we work with the EPA pretty closely to make sure that we are following the right rules. But when you look at places like Gove, you know, they're starting to demob. So for us, there's going to be a lot of waste coming out of there once Rio Tinto and that start to shut down. So we've had to increase our licences there. We do have an environmental management plan, and we do follow the ISO standard 14001. So that was all I had. I think looking at the road photos earlier, I should have put a few barge photos in there, but I think... you got a few, have you? No, I've got plenty. I'll always say you should ship your freight rather than ship it by road, but I don't know if I can do that if I'm on the same side as road today. So,
we're working together. This is called transport logistics.
Yeah. I'm happy to take any questions if anyone's got any questions, or if they want to know anything. Or obviously, barge ramps are challenging, you know. So when we talk to government about getting barge ramps improved, it's different angles. Where our vessels dry out, our door angle can change. One day it might be flat, the next day it might be like this, and we've still got to be able to deliver freight to get to communities. So, yeah.